Hey everyone, Stas Manchek here. Want to give you an update on what's going on with the real estate market in the country as a whole. It seems like certain price points, first time home buyers, VA buyers, that market is starting to pick up a bit. It looks like probably December of 2022, we bottomed out in the amount of transactions that are going to happen due to the freak out the last 6 months post the market peaking in June, which means rates are coming down a bit. I think the 10-year note hit 3.46 today. It is Wednesday the 26th, which tells you one thing. Mortgage rates nationally right now are about 6.4% average on a 30-year. That's with great credit, of course, great terms. If your credit's not all the way up there, you're probably sitting close to that 7% rate still, which is still pretty unaffordable. But what's happening is buyers are coming out of the woodwork, especially those first-time home buyers in these smaller price points. Homes are getting multiple offers again due to the lack of inventory, and buyers are out. Buyers are buying because no matter what, if you're ready to purchase a property, there's nothing more better feeling than being a homeowner, fixing all your own stuff, doing all your own things in your home, as long as you're ready, as long as you can afford it, as long as you're in it for the long term. We don't know what's going to happen. Nothing's been changed in the last 100 years in real estate like it has now. Things aren't the way that they used to be. So we've never printed this much money. We have never had so many changes into our market like we have now, which could mean one of two things. Everything's going to go up and keep steadily floating along at 1% maybe a year, maybe 2-3%, making everything kind of stagnant in the market price-wise, because since the peak in June, pricing has come down in most markets. Some markets in California are down 30% since June, which is just absolutely bonkers, but they are, which would substitute a crash. Anything over 20% is a crash, anything under is a correction, especially in the housing market, how fast prices have stabilized. And the reason why they've stabilized is because if you can remember 6-8 months ago, you'd list a property for sale today, let's say for $500,000, you'd get an offer for $600,000, $625,000 within that first couple of days of being on the market, just because rates were so low and demand was high, but inventory levels have been diminishing for years now because less and less people are moving, more people are staying put. I showed a crazy statistic the other day that about 50% of millennials are living with their parents, which is crazy because that is a big number of people that are not in the home market. So what happens when those people start to move? Because there's going to be about 74 million baby boomers or so retiring in the next 10 years. And are those guys going to stay in their homes just because their kids are in their basement? Or are those guys going to start selling and liquidifying themselves into smaller homes, more cash, so they can have money for retirement? We don't know what's going to happen in that sense, but all we do know right now is that the market is starting to move. People are out there purchasing, not as fast as it was before, but things are moving more than they have been the last couple months. So the spring market for 2023, it's going to be busy, but it's also not going to be busy because of lack of inventory. There's not enough homes for sale that these buyers can purchase that are turnkey properties. So what that means is if you're somebody in a situation that needs to sell, that has a turnkey property, that wants to downsize, upsize, right now is your opportunity, because the luxury home market, new construction, that market is starting to tank all throughout the country because of unaffordability. So you can get a really great deal in those markets, and you can still possibly get, if you're priced correctly, of course, everything always comes down to price. So if you're priced correctly, you can probably get the best possible price for your property today. Have somebody come in that's a first-time home buyer. Just make sure it's FHA ready. If you want more resources on what FHA ready means, please feel free to reach out to me. But on the luxury side, less and less homes are happening, less and less sales are happening. They're not building as many homes because of all the new construction finished projects that are going to come to market. And everyone on the media and everyone else is saying, oh, housing crash, housing crash. But let's look at what the big institutions are doing. The big institutions are out there creating funds, new funds for single family homes to go out there and purchase them and make them into rentals, because that market has been stable throughout the last 100 years. And there's little dips here and there, but overall, the single family rental market has been great. Even though rents are starting to slide a little bit and there's more and more inventory becoming available due to all the apartments that are being built with crazy amenities, most people do not want to live in an apartment. They would rather, if they can't purchase, go rent a single family home. So what that means for you is, depending on where you are in life, there's a few options that you can go into, whether it's moving, whether it's staying put, whether it's selling, whatever that may be. Just remember, I'm in this every single day, full-time real estate agent and investor over the last 11 years. And I see what's happening on the ground every single day, instead of all the news articles that are probably 2-3 months behind. So just know that as of right now, more buyers are back into the market. Also, rates are mid-sixes nationwide as an average, depending on what lender you use. Of course, I always get a couple opinions from a couple different lenders. And the 10-year Treasury bond, which dictates interest rates, seems to be moving down, which is great news for everybody, because everything in the market kind of depends on that, including credit cards, car loans, and mortgages. So with all of this talk going on right now, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going to be in the next 6 months, 12 months. But what we do know is that, with last year being down 36% transactions in the nation, inventory levels are starting to build right now because there's a lot of sellers that want to sell, but they want 2021 prices, which they will never get right now unless somebody absolutely wants their house and has the cash to pay for it. So what we're seeing in Minnesota and also Southeast Florida is inventory levels are starting to build. Days on market are starting to go up because there's a lot of sellers out there that are not realistic in pricing, which kind of turns into the industry as a whole. It's agents are buying listings just to say that they have a listing, even though the listing's not going to go anywhere. We'll see what happens, especially with all the new construction incentives that builders are creating, because you have to remember with builders, they're on short-term loans on these new builds and they need to get out of these loans within a year, which is creating lots of buzz all over the news everywhere. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you catch the next video and subscribe to my channel. Try to bring you as much up-to-date news as possible every single day. Have a great week.